In this video, I'm going to decode the Cunard dress code. First the rules, then the grey areas, and finally a packing guide. Let's decode the Cunard dress code. Cunard is well known for its dress code, and while it's loved by many, it can also feel intimidating. Are jeans allowed? What about polo shirts? Smart trainers? Do you have to dress up to go to the theatre? After all, the stakes are high. No one wants to do the walk of shame or feel side-eye on them. So, let's take the mystery out of it so that you can confidently scrub up very nicely in your best bib and tucker. By the end of this video, you'll know what to wear, what to pack, and how to make the most of all the glamour of a Cunard voyage. First, I'll explain the dress code in clear terms. Secondly, we'll explore the grey areas, not just in what you wear, but in how the rules are applied. Third, I'll talk packing. Plus, at the end of the video, I'll share a bonus packing tip that I discovered completely by accident, but now use on every voyage. Cunard's dress code is easiest to understand if we split it into 4 simple buckets: daytime or sea days, smart attire, gala evening, and nevers. Sea days is the relaxed bit, whether you're walking the promenade, sitting by the pool, heading to the gym, or settling down with a coffee and a book. Think comfortable and appropriate to the activity and weather. The change comes in the evening, usually at 6 p.m. Your daily programme will tell you. On most evenings, the code is smart attire, which Cunard describes as something akin to what you might wear to a fine restaurant or to the theatre. Now, once we've absorbed the fact that Cunard really did use the word akin with a straight face, the important point is this: Cunard is not giving a forensic checklist. It is describing a level of formality. Think dinner out, not gym. Smart, but not black tie. If in doubt, follow Cunard's own examples. For men, a collared shirt or dress shirt with trousers or chinos. For women, a cocktail dress, stylish skirt and top, or smart trousers. Then there are the gala evenings. This is where Cunard turns the glamour dial up. Men are invited to wear a dinner jacket, otherwise known as tuxedo, or a dark suit with a tie or bow tie. Women are invited to wear an evening gown, full-length dress, cocktail dress, formal separates, or smart trouser suit. National dress, religious dress, and formal military dress are also part of the wider spirit of the evening, although ceremonial blades are not allowed. Well, that's reassuring. Most gala evenings also have themes, such as black and white, red and gold, roaring 20s, masquerade, or in Alaska, ice white. But you don't have to go head-to-toe theme. A pocket square, wrap, mask, or a touch of colour is perfectly acceptable. Some guests do go all in, like flapper dresses on Roaring 20s night, and some don't. A feathered headband, a smile, and a glass of champagne will go a long way. On a Cunard gala evening, you can peacock a little. Strut your stuff. Lastly, we come to the nevers. Torn or distressed clothing, including ripped jeans. Swimwear away from the pool areas. Gym wear, unless you're going to the gym. Shorts in the evening. And of course, nothing offensive. So, on paper, it's quite simple. Relaxed by day, smart attire on most evenings, gala attire on selected evenings, and a few clear no-go items. And what if you're not in the mood to dress up tonight? Well, Cunard designates certain areas of the ship as exempt from the evening's dress code. On all ships, this includes the Golden Lion pub, the casino, the nightclub, the buffet, and one of the ship's lounges. Or, like us on occasion, you might feel like a quiet night in your stateroom. So, that's it, right? Job done. I can get changed out of this lot. Alas, it isn't quite as simple as that. But before we come to the grey areas, Curious to Travel is a channel about Cunard, practical cruise advice and immersive journeys. If that interests you, please do consider subscribing. Grey areas. This is where most dress code anxiety comes from. It's not so much the basic rules, it's the edge cases, like jeans, polo shirts, trainers, jumpsuits, children, if the theatre's included, and whether the rules feel the same on Queen Mary 2 in winter as it does on Queen Anne in the Med. So, let's start with jeans. Non-ripped jeans are fine during the day, but there are no for gala nights. The grey area is for smart attire nights. Whenever Cunard gives examples of smart attire, it tends to talk about chinos or trousers, but not jeans. Having said that, in the real world, you still see guests wearing dark jeans on smart attire evenings. So, on the one hand, jeans are trousers, legally speaking at least. But on the other, Cunard only mentions jeans under daywear and casual wear. So if you choose to wear them for smart attire, you're stepping outside Cunard's published examples. So my advice would be, safe is chinos, tailored trousers, smart slacks or culottes. Riskier is dark smart jeans, and no to ripped, distressed, faded, baggy, or obviously casual jeans. The irony, of course, is that a pair of £500 distressed designer jeans will get you turned away, while a £15 pair of polyester chinos from the supermarket will get you welcomed with open arms. Next, polo shirts, which have caused a surprising amount of debate. Cunard's wording varies. In some places it says dress shirt, while elsewhere it says collared shirt. And of course, a polo shirt is a collared shirt, but it's not a dress shirt. So, is it allowed? I'm going to stick my neck out and say yes, for smart attire, provided it is a smart polo shirt and the rest of the outfit supports it. And why do I say that? Because Cunard gives us a gift. Right next to its website wording about a dress shirt, its own image shows a man in a polo shirt. Case closed, I think? But I'm not the arbiter of Cunard dress code rules. Please do let me know what you think in the comments. Onwards. Trainers. Fine by day. As for the evenings, Cunard wording says smart attire should be paired with the kind of shoe you might wear to the office or a party. I'd say that smart trainers, perhaps leather or suede, can work on smart attire evenings, particularly when paired with a jacket and the overall look is polished. A good question to ask is, do they look like you're going to dinner or you're going to the gym? If there's any doubt, it's probably the gym. As for gala nights, I would avoid, unless there's a specific comfort or medical reason, in which case keep the rest of your outfit as formal as possible. Next up is jumpsuits. Cunard now mentions these more clearly than it used to, and they're absolutely allowed. But think elegant, not onesie. Here are some nice examples. With jumpsuits, go elegant for smart attire, sparkle and accessorise for gala, and a more casual style would be for sea days. There's also ambiguity around cocktail dresses because Cunard mentions them for both smart attire and gala evening. The difference is in the fabric, styling, accessories and sense of occasion. A simple black cocktail dress with flats and a cardigan can read as smart attire. The same dress with heels, jewellery, an evening bag and a wrap can become gala ready. For gentlemen, jackets and ties are another grey area on smart attire nights. Jackets are encouraged but not required, and neither are ties. Personally, I often wear a jacket but rarely a tie, especially on warmer itineraries. Gala nights are different. This is where the dinner jacket or dark suit, tie and bow tie are coming into their own. Children and teenagers. Cunard fudges this a bit. It says that under 18s are not required to follow the dress code, but should adhere to it where possible. In practice, young children get more latitude. However, teenagers in the main dining room are generally expected to make an effort. I've seen children beautifully dressed up on board, including very charming little sailor suits, and frankly, giving some of the adults a run for their money. Now let's move on from what to wear to when it applies. The evening dress code normally begins at 6 p.m, sometimes 5:30 p.m. But this is not like Cinderella. As the clock strikes 6, your clothes do not turn to rags. You do not have to scurry back to your cabin to sort lentils from the ashes. In practice, it feels more like a transition time. If you're finishing a drink in the chart room, nobody's going to appear with a stopwatch. But if you're heading out for the evening, dress for the evening. And where does it apply? Cunard is clear that the dress code is not compulsory across the whole ship. Casual venues are available, however it isn't completely cut and dried. Sometimes the theatre follows the evening code, and sometimes the daily programme relaxes it. And even if you choose a casual venue like the Golden Lion, you still join people in dinner jackets and ball gowns. In fact, all over the ship, in corridors and the buffet, you'll meet many other guests, all dressed up. On Queen Mary 2, for example, if you're going to the G32 nightclub, you pass through the Queen's room, which may be in full gala mode. So yes, you can opt out of the dress code, but you cannot entirely opt out of the Cunard atmosphere. It's what makes Cunard Cunard. And as I said earlier, a quiet night in can be very pleasurable, but there's a world of difference between choosing that because it suits your mood and hiding away as though the evening belongs to everybody else. And now, just when you probably had enough of the grey areas, there's a bit more. Cunard has 4 ships in its fleet, and each has its own personality. Queen Mary 2 is Cunard's flagship, the only ocean liner in the world. She's faster, bigger and stronger, and she knows it. From my experience, she also has the most formal feel, especially for instance on a winter transatlantic crossing. Queen Victoria is traditional too, but warmer, even cosy. Queen Elizabeth leans graceful and elegant, and Queen Anne is all shiny and new, more contemporary with a slightly younger vibe. The culture of the ship rubs off on the dress code. I've seen much more relaxed interpretations of smart attire and gala night on Queen Anne than on Queen Mary 2, for instance. But don't let that worry you. It's less a rule and more part of the fun of getting to know your ship and her character. The same applies to Itinerary and Season. A linen shirt and smart chinos may feel completely right on a summer Mediterranean voyage, but a little underpowered on a winter crossing. A dark suit may feel perfectly natural on a Queen Mary 2 transatlantic crossing, but more of an effort on a hot fly cruise. The further you get into Cunard's dress code, the less it becomes about individual garments and the more it becomes about context. The rules are the same, but the room can feel different. So read the room and read your ship. Right, time to get the suitcases out. Packing. This does not need to become complicated. You don't need every possible outfit, just enough flexibility to be comfortable by day and confident by evening. First, check how many gala evenings you have and whether they have themes. Cunard will tell you, but there's also an excellent Cruise Critic thread listing the gala themes on each ship. I'll pop a link in the description. You don't need a completely different outfit for every theme. Accessories often do most of the heavy lifting. A mask for masquerade, a gold bow tie for red and gold, or braces for roaring 20s. Second, think in layers and combinations. One jacket can work with several shirts. One cocktail dress can move between smart attire and gala evening depending on accessories. One pair of smart shoes can cover most evenings. This matters if you're flying because Cunard may be generous with luggage allowance, but your airline won't be sentimental about your 3rd, 4th or 5th suitcase. Third, pack for your itinerary. A Northern Lights voyage needs warm layers and practical outerwear. A Mediterranean voyage needs lighter fabrics. And a transatlantic crossing often gives you more opportunity to enjoy the evening rhythm of the ship. The Cunard website gives destination-based packing guides if you need further advice. For gentlemen, decide whether to bring a dinner jacket or dark suit. Formal wear can be hard on board, but for some people it may be better value to buy something they'll use again. This is Marks & Spencer. Other stores are available. And one practical note, whilst there is a hairdryer in your stateroom, your own hairstyling equipment such as dryers, tongs and straighteners are allowed. Before we button this up and get to that bonus packing tip, here's one final thought. Cunard's dress code is a bit of a paradox. On one level, it's simple. Daytime, smart attire, gala evening, and the nevers. But in the real world, the grey areas quickly become apparent. So my best advice is this. Don't ask only, will I be allowed in? Ask, will I feel as though I belong? Because that's the more useful question. Cunard is not trying to lock you out. Its language is softer and more encouraging than many people imagine. The invitation is warm. Embrace the culture, enjoy the tradition, and dress up as much or as little as your chosen evening allows. And now, as promised, that bonus packing tip. I discovered this by accident on our Northern Lights voyage on Queen Victoria. She was hours late arriving into the terminal. It was packed, and the luggage was piled up like mountains outside the baggage pods. We didn't feel comfortable leaving our soft suit carriers amongst all those hard suitcases, so we opened up our cases and put them inside. To my surprise, they fitted well, especially with the expandable zips open. They were more secure, our hands were free, and the clothes survived without being creased. So that's my bonus tip. If your suitcase allows it, put your suit carrier inside your suitcase. And if all this talk of a smart attire, gala evenings and grey areas has left you wondering what to pack, I've put together a complete guide to packing for a Cunard voyage, including the things I wish I'd known before I sailed, and you can watch that here. Thank you very much for watching. I'm David from Curious to Travel. Stay curious.